a tearful reunion. This is the reason Jungkook cried in Jin's arms and all the members remained silent. Footage from an unexpected moment has finally surfaced and spread rapidly across social media platforms. Jungkook, BTS's youngest vocalist, was seen sobbing in Jin's arms, the oldest member who had just completed his mandatory military service. Even more shocking, all BTS members present at the reunion chose not to utter a single word about the incident. What exactly happened behind those tears? Why did all the members choose to remain silent? This reunion was supposed to be a moment of pure joy. Jin officially returned from military service, welcomed by the other 6 members in a private gathering known only to HYB's inner circle. But what unfolded was quite the opposite. Overflowing emotions, heavy gazes, and one scene that shook fans, a long hug between Jin and Jungkook, accompanied by uncontrollable crying that disrupted the atmosphere. More than just typical sentimentality, the scene implied deep emotional tension that had long been suppressed. Several internal sources, who wished to remain anonymous, stated that the reunion was not only a moment of reconnection but also an occasion to evaluate the psychological and professional condition of the members. In a closed-door meeting that lasted more than 2 hours, there was no live broadcast, no professional cameras, just one internal camera for private documentation. However, a snippet of the recording leaked to the public showing Jungkook tightly hugging Jin, his face drenched in tears, while the other members looked on in striking silence. Why did Jungkook cry? Speculations began to emerge. Some armies believed that the tears were related to the personal pressure he had experienced in the past 2 years, especially while navigating his solo career without direct support from Jin and Suga, who were both serving in the military. Others believed that the tears were an emotional outburst long held back, considering Jin has been a deeply significant figure for him since debut. As the eldest young, Jin often served as an emotional anchor for Jungkook. His absence during military service may have left a large emotional void in the youngest member's life, yet no official statement from the agency was released. HYB chose not to provide an explanation regarding the moment, only stating that it was a private reunion with high emotional intensity. The decision not to reveal more only strengthened the impression that something deeper was happening. The silence of the members became a signal that could not be ignored. Those who were usually communicative on social media chose total silence after the reunion. The questions grew larger when it was revealed that days before the reunion, Jungkook appeared visibly gloomy during a private training session. Some staff mentioned that he seemed to be holding something heavy inside and repeatedly left the training room to calm himself. This was supported by a statement from one of his vocal coaches who said, Jungkook seemed to be carrying more than just musical burdens. From a psychological standpoint, Jungkook's tears could signal internal pressure that he was unable to verbalize. In the K-pop world, where idols are expected to appear perfect and emotionally stable in public, emotional outbursts like this are rarely seen. The fact that the moment happened in front of all members, unedited and uncensored, shows that their relationships are not merely professional but profoundly deep and complex. The public also began to wonder, is there an internal conflict yet to be revealed? Did Jin's absence during military service create an emotional gap in the group's dynamics? Or was this reunion a cathartic moment for Jungkook to express something that could not be put into words? The decision by all members to remain silent after this reunion only added layers of mystery. RM, who usually speaks as the spokesperson, J-Hope, who's always energetic on social media, and even Jimin, known for his expressiveness, all remained silent. Even V, who frequently posts daily photos, chose not to post anything since that day. There seemed to be a deliberate silence, as if the moment was too personal to share with the public or too sensitive to be revealed. Some Korean pop culture analysts suggested that this event could mark a turning point in the dynamics among BTS members. After each member walked their own individual paths and faced their own challenges, this reunion became an emotional mirror that revealed old wounds long buried. Jungkook's tears might not just be about loss or sentimentality, but also about fear, existential pressure, and the need for a comforting presence. Yet, to this moment, there is no certainty as to what exactly triggered such a strong emotional reaction. And it is precisely for this reason that the public remains captivated. What really happened? Why did Jin only respond to the hug in silence? Is the entire group facing a major transition that's difficult to articulate? In situations like this, only time can provide answers. But one thing is certain, that moment will not be easily forgotten and will continue to be in the spotlight until an official explanation emerges. This reunion, which should have been celebrated with cheers, instead left behind deep questions. Is BTS truly okay? Now the public can only wait. Will there be an official statement? Or is a major change slowly being prepared? In a K-pop world full of controlled narratives, unscripted, tearful moments like this can speak louder than 1,000 press conferences. Yet behind the emotional moment captured in that hug arises a fundamental question that should disturb our comfort as viewers and loyal fans. Did this really happen as it appeared? Or is this merely one chapter of a narrative packaged dramatically to stir public sympathy? In the South Korean entertainment world, where narratives and images are tightly controlled, it's not unusual for something that seems natural to have gone through a series of scripting or even calculated information leaks. Are we witnessing a genuine moment, or are we just part of a perception game? Let us question more deeply. If the moment was truly private and full of emotional weight, how could the visual footage leak to the public? How could an event described as a closed reunion be leaked in such sharp and emotional detail, precisely at a time when the K-pop industry is experiencing stagnation in international interest post-third generation boy group era? Who exactly benefits from the spread of this moment? Is this the honest cry of a vulnerable Jungkook, or a narrative strategically constructed by certain parties? There's no denying that the entertainment industry, especially K-pop, has long used fan emotions as part of marketing strategies. Human moments like tears, hugs, deep silence, all can be manipulated to create dramatic effects that stick in the public memory. So the questions we must ask are no longer just what happened, but rather, why is this happening now? And who controls this information? It is important to note that the information we provide, including Jungkook's tears and the silence of BTS members after the reunion, comes from various media platforms such as TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and several online entertainment outlets. However, the validity of these pieces of information has yet to be independently confirmed. Are you, as a reader, willing to accept the information as is? Or do you start to question the motives behind its dissemination? Pop culture critics and K-pop industry observers emphasize the importance of being skeptical in responding to such events. They remind us that not everything that seems emotional is pure, and not everything released to the public is truth. Do you realize that in many cases, emotional narratives are used to divert public attention from bigger issues, such as internal restructuring, shifts in commercial strategy, or even unresolved contract conflicts? In this context, the hug between Jungkook and Jin is not only about the personal relationship of two group members, but could be read as a deliberately displayed symbol to rebuild emotional bonds with the public. Is that wrong? Not necessarily. But we still need to ask, is this emotional honesty or brand reinforcement strategy ahead of BTS's next phase? If the members are truly facing a significant internal transition, why is there no official statement or clarification? Why has HYB, an agency known for responding swiftly to wild rumors, chosen silence in this case? Is this part of a strategy? Let the public speculate, because it increases engagement. The next question we must reflect on together is, why are all members silent? In BTS's history, they are known for being open to fans through platforms like Weverse or live streams. But this time, even the most communicative members chose silence. Are they being instructed not to speak? Or do they feel that words are no longer enough to explain what is happening? We must also look at the other side, public reaction. Various speculations have emerged, from mental health issues to internal breakup rumors. Yet some fans choose to fully believe that the moment was purely emotional and not fabricated. This is where critical thinking is crucial. Are we too quickly touched by a narrative built so neatly? Or are we too cynical to believe in any moment of sincerity? As viewers, we must dare to ask, are the tears behind the camera those of an individual or of an industry? Did the hug really happen out of brotherly love or due to a larger agenda? Is the member's silence an expression of deep sorrow or calculated strategic silence? Skepticism is not a form of cynicism, but a form of protection for our own reason. In the digital age, where information spreads rapidly, yet often without verification, questioning the source and motives behind information be